35 years old, 15 pre-seasons, and he just ran the fastest time of his life. G'day Swans fans. If you bleed red and white like I do, smash that subscribe button, because what happened at Moore Park this week shows exactly why this club is something special. Day one of pre-season. You'd expect the usual story, right? The young guns pushing the pace, the veterans grinding through, everyone getting back into the routine. Standard stuff. But that's not what happened at Centennial Park on Monday. Instead, we witnessed something extraordinary. Dane Rampe, 35 years old, 15 pre-seasons deep, didn't just complete the 2-kilometre time trial, he ran a personal best. 4th place across the entire squad. At an age when most blokes are thinking about retirement, our co-captain is somehow getting faster. And he wasn't alone. 9 players in total smashed their personal records. Jake Lloyd took out first place at 31 years old. Isaac Heaney, fresh off a Bob Skilton medal-winning season, finished second. The senior core of this football club just sent a message to the entire competition. This wasn't just a good training session. This was a statement. But to understand why this matters so much and what it tells us about the 2020 season ahead, we need to go back. Pre-season is where championships are built. We all know that. But the 2025 season left some serious questions hanging over this group. Remember the heartbreak of that preliminary final? The what-ifs that haunted us through the off-season? The questions about whether this group had another crack at the flag in them? Whether the window was closing on our senior players? Dane Rampe turned 35 in October. Jake Lloyd is 31. These aren't just leaders. They're the backbone of everything we've built over the past decade. But Father Time is undefeated in footy, and everyone knew the whispers would start eventually. Is the body holding up? Can they maintain elite fitness? Are the younger players ready to take over? Behind closed doors, the coaching staff had been putting together something different for this pre-season. The 1 to 4 year players returned a fortnight early, getting extra work into their legs. The senior players had been around in an informal capacity, mentoring, guiding, showing the way. But Monday was different. Monday was official, the full squad on deck for the first time, and everyone watching to see how the veterans would respond. The 2-kilometre time trial at Centennial Park isn't just a fitness test, it's a psychological battlefield. You're running against your teammates, sure, but you're really running against yourself, against your previous times, against your age, against every voice telling you that maybe you've lost a step. The young blokes were always going to go hard. They've got everything to prove, but the seniors? They had a choice. Cruise through, manage the body, save it for when it counts. No one would have blamed them. That's not what happened. The gun goes off, and immediately you could see something was different. The intensity, the focus. Lloyd hit the front early, and he wasn't backing off. Heaney, coming off the best season of his career, right on his shoulder. These weren't training legs. These were statement legs. But here's the moment that changes everything. Rampe starts moving through the pack. Remember, this is a bloke who's been an absolute warrior for this club, but at 35, in his 15th pre-season, no one expected him to be hunting personal bests. Most players at that age are just trying to stay in the race, not Rampe. He's pushing, grinding, every stride deliberate, every breath earned. 4th place, personal best time, 15 pre-seasons, and he's still finding new gears. Lloyd crosses first, 31 years old, top of the mountain. Heaney second, the reigning best and fairest, proving 2025 wasn't a fluke. McLean third, and get this, also with massive improvement on previous years. Then Rampe, then Golden rounding out the top 5. 9 players total, smashing personal bests. 9! And then there's Brodie Grundy. The big man ran brilliantly and was tagged as the biggest improver across the entire group. A ruckman, improving his running in the off-season? The dedication that takes is insane. What would you have done? If you were 35, with nothing left to prove, would you risk injury pushing for a PB in a November time trial? Or would you cruise, knowing you've already earned your spot?
Rampe chose to lead, and that decision rippled through the entire squad. The coaching staff couldn't hide their reactions. You don't see 9 personal bests on day 1 of pre-season. That doesn't happen by accident. That's a group that came back hungry. After the time trial, the squad headed to Bat and Ball Oval for skills work, and the energy was electric. The senior players had set the tone, and now it was time for the next generation to follow. 6 new draftees hit the track for their first official session. Harry Kyle, Max King, Billy Cootie, Jeevan Philippou, Noah Chamberlain and Liam Heatherton. Talk about an introduction to AFL footy. Your first day and you've just watched 35-year-old Dane Rampe run a personal best. That's your standard now. That's the culture you've walked into. Billy Cootie, drafted at pick 42 from Norwood, summed it up perfectly. The boys have been super welcoming and I am rapt to be here. I am really excited to get stuck in it. You can see it in his eyes. He gets it. This isn't just about talent, it's about effort. It's about showing up every single day and refusing to settle. Swan supporters watching the training reports couldn't believe what they were seeing. Social media lit up. Rampe running a PB at 35? Absolute legend. If the seniors are setting this pace, we're going all the way. Lloyd and Heaney won too? That's your leadership group right there. The message was clear. This team isn't done, not even close. This reminds me of 2012. Different era, different players, but the same spirit. That was the year our senior core refused to let the window close. They dragged us to a premiership through sheer will. We're seeing echoes of that now. Opening round against Carlton is on Thursday, March 7. That's not far away. And if day one is any indication, the Swans are coming into 2026 with something to prove. Think about what this does to the playing group. The young blokes see Rampe running a PB at 35 and suddenly their excuses evaporate. Lloyd at 31 claiming first place? That's your blueprint. Grundy is the biggest improver? That's your standard. Culture isn't something you talk about, it's something you demonstrate. And on Monday at Centennial Park, the senior core of this football club demonstrated exactly what it means to be a Sydney Swan. The competition should be worried, because a team with this much experience, this much talent, and this much hunger, that's a dangerous combination. At the end of the day, this is what being a Swans fan is all about. It's not just about the highlights or the premierships, it's about watching blokes like Dane Rampe refuse to go quietly. It's about seeing leaders lead, not with words, but with sweat and suffering and personal bests at 35 years old. We've got something special building here, and if day one is any indication, 2026 is going to be one hell of a ride. Let me know in the comments. Are you as pumped as I am after seeing this? Hit like if you're backing the Swans no matter what, and I'll see you in the next one. Go Swans!